to talk about. Okay, we have tons of. Hello, everyone. I'm Allison, and welcome to my weekly meltdowns coverage of drum roll, everybody. Big Brother All Stars. 14 years I've been waiting for this. Oh my God. I just want to say you bitches did your little draft the other night. Okay. And I was a little sick and I didn't get to do it. But I did tell Tyler, he only mentioned one of my picks. Don't think I did.
Winner
Go, no,
not winner
pick. Then you only
I have Memphis and Cody.
Yeah, but I knew Memphis was your if I had to choose one, I knew it would be Memphis for you.
Will you let me have my moment?
Also, props to me for getting the cast 16 out of 16 right on that draft. Thank you very much.
Shit, dude.
I was wrong. I'll admit it. I was wrong.
I love when Andrew admits he's wrong.
I was waiting for Christmas
to me for having the underdog team, 3 of which actually went further into the HOH competition today.
I'm beside myself. I'm so happy that we did the whole thing last week and the brain steal with the right people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and recapping Big Brother 10 also.
Guys, if we recapped Big Brother 10 this summer, and let me tell you guys, Memphis and Keisha, I could not be happier. I just want you guys to know, on July 26th, we were talking about doing our Big Brother 10 finale show. I reached out to Brian Hart about contacting Memphis, because he was like, yeah, I'll get in touch with Memphis when you're ready to do your finale. Just let me know. Now I know why he couldn't get me in touch with him.
Well, the best part is, just for some more tea in the background, Allison's going, I can't get our guest to respond to me or to get. And I was like, girl, who are you trying to get?
I'm telling y'all, nobody ever responds to me. Nobody ever messages me back.
Nope.
And lo and behold, it's because Memphis is in the Big Brother house. Words I never ever thought I would say.
Yes, Valencia. That's right. Let's give a shout out to all the people in the chat real quick. Absolutely. Gregory Cooley, of course, my week, Augusta, Matt Henning, Michael Lawless, Joseph Boza, Big Sissy Banana, Rory the Virgo, Jay Mendel, Valencia, mwah, we love you. Stay safe, girl. Romeo, Steven, Monster. We got Rebecca Hurley back. You watched us last year. MJ, everybody, thank you. Thank you for watching. We're going to keep a close eye on it. Man, this 2 hours went by so fast. But I just want to say the show
felt so slow.
It felt slow and fast at the same time. It's kind of like losing your virginity. But
can we fire the people who put together that first comp?
No, we're going to fire the people that did Tyler Crispin's hair. Because of that.
You mean
Andrew forgot to unlock the room? I have a bunch of notes about production fuck ups this episode. Some apparent, some not.
Yeah, let's put all the women, make all the women have the hardest competition to do, but make all the men only have to get it right in the first slot. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm. And also the second part of the comp really favors men that are taller. Of course, we see Cody just hop across this thing. And poor Ian.
We're all wearing tight pants though, so I don't know.
Yeah. Everybody was wearing tight pants tonight. I'm like, I got a wedgie. Listen, I got a uni-wedge just watching these people. I'm like, Jesus, breathe down there. You're getting infection if you don't.
I call it a veggie. Thank you very much.
Speaking of infection, I was reading some comments on Reddit, and this one was my favorite. The Have Not room has COVID in it. That's the twist.
Well, they couldn't get in.
Also, Lieber the Liar loves Steven.
Of course.
And to be fair, I mean, part of the reason, and I was talking about this during that last commercial break, part of the reason they couldn't fix it so quick was because you can't just bring step members in, right? You just can't bring them in without going through the disinfecting process, and you can't go through with doing all of that. So not only do you have live TV as the obstacle, you couldn't bring production in any format on without going through the protocol that's set up. Right. So that's part of the slowdown process of that.
Hold on real quick. I think hold on, guys. We need to introduce ourselves because somebody wants to know who these ugly weirdos are. I'm Allison S. Kelly. I hail from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm a Big Brother reject. I've almost made it to the LA round twice, but no cigar. I have a 23-year-old son who, anyway, we won't go there. I did raise a human. You're welcome, America. Next.
I screenshotted this. Comment up. That's so funny. Oh my goodness.
Tyler, you're next. Introduce yourself.
So I am Tyler, the other another one of the resident uglies here at my weekly meltdown. I'm also a weirdo, so 2 for 2 on that. I don't know what else to say about myself. I'm so excited for Big Brother All Stars. I can't believe we're here talking about this. This is just crazy.
Andrew, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
My name is Andrew, and I don't go here.
She doesn't even go here.
Andrew Gibson from Conroe, Texas. Big Brother super fan, all the way back from season 1. Watched every single episode. I never agree with Tyler except for our hatred on Tyler. So
yes.
Right.
And Beth.
I'm Beth Dixon. I'm a fan. I don't know how to use it in a weird, ugly way.
Girl, listen, don't even get me started. I swatter over here.
But that's us. We got a fly swatter, got a fan. We need a logo that has the fly swatter, the fan, and then just like
we're just some ugly weirdos. Look at us.
Do we remember the time that I don't know which was the last BB10 recap I was on where I had like my putty for the wall on the floor and somebody was like, "What's on Andrew's floor back there?"
We thought it was a dildo.
It was a dildo, and don't even tell us otherwise.
Don't play with us.
I guess that's what the kids are calling it these days.
Beth and I can spot a dildo. Okay.
Guys, my mom watches this.
Okay, all right. Big Brother 22.
You should be happy that you have a wonderful, healthy attitude towards self-pleasuring.
Yes.
Or pleasuring your wife.
Ooh, Bud Light in the house. All right, let's get to this recap, y'all. She's a few in. Woohoo!
I need to turn my ceiling fan on. It's getting a little hot in here.
Everybody look at his floor. Okay.
Brandon, thank you for letting me know. I did ban that user on my Twitch channel, so thank you.
All right.
People already. It's been 7 minutes.
So,
no, I just had spam.
I just want to start by saying I loved all the intro packages so much. Like they've really spent their time, talking about like not only like updating us in their personal lives, but also giving them a really good kind of refresher on their history of the show. So of course, like with Keisha and Memphis in recent memory for us, of course, I was so excited to see all of that happen. And Keisha said, I'm not going to trust people this much going in. And I think she was talking about Memphis in particular there, right?
Hey, listen, can we just say for the first time in Big Brother history, we did not have the fake key reveal.
Oh my
God. That's true.
Thank God.
Did anybody notice that?
It's because they probably filmed a whole bunch of packages of people who had to go home.
They just filmed it last night.
And going back on kind of what you were saying, though, about the packages in general, I truly expected like half packages, half action. I didn't think the packages were too long either. Like I was very impressed with the length of the video packages. And I liked that. I did like the breakup. Whether I liked the comp or not, I liked that it was video package, introduction, comp, video package, introduction, comp. I liked that it wasn't just here's the first 20 minutes and all we're doing is watching packages, right?
This is a really good comment. I feel like the packages made us feel like we all actually know what each of them are fighting for this time. Super true. Like even Christmas, I feel like had a good intro package. I hate to say it because it's fun to shit on Christmas being here. Paul's in the have not room. I'm telling you. That's funny.
I love that. He's blocking the door.
The only thing I could have done without the intro packages is Swaggy. Like, let's be real. Like I would have been better.
I thought Swaggy looked good.
Best
I
drunk.
was like, wow. Sorry. I didn't feel this good before. He looks good now. Good on him.
Swaggy's calmed down a lot. He's calmed down a lot. I just kind of noticed a lot of things. Bailey had this stone cold look on her face the whole time. And is it me or did Nicole Franzel look like she was about to cry the last 30 minutes of the show?
She's probably been told via text message that everyone thinks that she's rigged everything.
She was
Everyone hates her.
Because I called her a bridezilla.
So
I'm not a bridezilla. That's Victor.
Allison messages all three of us like earlier this afternoon and says, hey, let's not message at all during the Big Brother premiere. Like, let's not talk. Let's just go through it. Let's watch it. And then let's make all of our comments live. The first thing she says is, of course, Nicole Franzel's first. Okay, shutting up now.
Listen, I said she was, I said earlier today, I bet her ass is the first one in the house. Because that's
You did
what
say that earlier today.
But no, it's in her now, Nicole, was it in your contract to have your package shown first?
Oh,
I really wanted to make sure that everyone, when they saw Showmances, thought of me and Victor, because we're planning our wedding. It's really hard because of COVID.
COVID's horrible because Victor's in charge.
But also, we did get some tea. I was on Alex Kidwell's podcast. We were doing like a live viewing party, and he was able to spill some tea. I didn't want Josh on, so I made sure that my friend who was COVID positive sneezed in his general direction, and that worked. My friend was Casey.
What if Josh with COVID is in the have-not room?
It's Josh.
That is truly a nightmare.
Oh my god. So anyway, the tea that Kidwell shared was that somebody, which was Andy, texted Ian and said, hey, by the way, Danny Donato's in the house. Good luck tomorrow. And Ian wrote back, okay, thank you so much, bud. That happened last night.
Last night.
So they still had phones last night?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way.
There's a screenshot on Andy Aaron's tweet.
But do we know that that's truly Ian having the phone, right?
I don't know. The fact that he responded when normally they don't allow anybody to respond from the phones is
right. But somebody could have had Ian's phone back at home, because my issue with that is like I do know that at one point in time in Sequester
they don't let them keep them at home though. That's the point. Is like they have to bring the phones with them to Los Angeles and they pass them over to their handler typically.
But normally at the like I get the phone, and I knew that they were sequestering with some kind of device at some point.
Yeah.
But at the point where we started getting house releases, I feel like at that point in time communication would have been cut off. So I have a hard time believing that happened last night.
Interesting. I'll have to look into that.
Runger said Danny was tweeting today.
No, her husband is tweeting for her. Speaking of that, she retweeted me saying Danielle's intro package was everything. Just wanted to point that out there.
Can we talk for a minute about...
Can we go back and just like take this 4x4 the 4 that came in so we don't get too all over the place?
I would love that. Yeah. So of course we do Nicole Franzel first. Of course. Nothing really new there. I don't think. Like I think that she just says like she wants to prove her win. Yeah.
But she's sweating on a farm.
Right. I'm like, okay, she did the same exact thing in Big Brother 16.
That's one of my favorite gifts.
Like if she was really out there doing yard work on a farm, she wouldn't be in Daisy Duke shorts. She would be covering up her legs in boots and socks.
Okay, my first thought as someone who is currently in the middle of nowhere was she's going to get ticks that way.
Ticks and chiggers and shit.
Could you imagine if she was like, I didn't get COVID positive, but did you now have Lyme disease because of my intro
That's
package?
also in the have-not room. Lyme disease.
So how did you feel when you saw Danny Donato?
Oh my God, her intro package was literally perfect. It shows her as a mom, shows her working out, but also she recognized her comp wins too, which was really cool. She says she still holds the record for veto wins in the season, and that is true. And then of course they show all of her
the same thing.
Yeah, they're tied for the record.
Okay.
And also I loved how they showed like her story with Evil Dick and how she really wants to prove herself as a player outside of his identity. Because everybody always says Dick and Danielle together as a pair.
She didn't even mention his name. She says she's used to seeing certain people in the house. She didn't even mention her dad's name.
Well,
can we talk about, she wasn't the only one that didn't mention someone who's been in the
Cody.
Cody didn't mention Polly. There was
Would
no
you?
Polly at all.
Oh, okay, so I'm not surprised that he didn't mention him. I was surprised he wasn't in his package at all. Like when the family was sending off, I kind of expected Polly to be there. We'll get to Cody more later. But
I just wanted to make that connection.
No, I agree. I
don't want Polly anywhere near my package. Next.
Or would you be surprised if he didn't sign the agreement?
I would be shocked with that. He's a fame whore.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just thinking too. Of course, so we see Davon. She's still a mother, I guess.
Oh my God, how big her kid has gotten, though. I mean,
her daughter is so
precious.
Beautiful.
And I remember, I mean, I feel like I've watched this girl grow up, right? Like we saw her so many seasons ago when she was little bitty. And then she grew a little more. And then Beth, why are you laughing?
Beth, what's
up? The chat's comment. Get ready for my duo scene with Polly on his OnlyFans.
We're everywhere.
I love that Stephen Daggle is very loyal, not like Christmas is loyal to my weekly meltdown.
What a transition that was, Tyler.
That was a horrible transition to a child.
No, her child's name is Loyal.
So Davon's daughter.
The transition you decided to go from
to a nice young lady,
child was
and then we saw Christmas. I really didn't think we were going to see Christmas.
What is going on?
Do we already talk about Christmas?
No.
What are we talking about?
I was transitioning to talking about Christmas next, unless you guys had other things to say about Davon, but I thought her package was pretty standard.
I liked that. Here's what I love about Davon is that she was, everyone's called her Mama Day, all that kind of stuff. And I think that, she played BB-17, I think months after she gave birth. Like her daughter wasn't 1 year old, we had all this stuff, but I think that she's definitely coming back into this now, having played the challenge with more of a, I need to play for me kind of mindset versus like, I need to play for my allies. And I kind of appreciated that distinction because I think one of her biggest downfalls is sometimes is that she will tend to get into arguments over other people's drama. Like you saw it was Zakiya in BB-18. You've seen that with her and Jason and BB-17. Like you saw those kind of things. So I'm interested to see if that changed, if she really has changed.
And I have to say, I disagree with Tyler. I don't think it was just a basic intro package. Like I liked that she owned what she did wrong, and she said, "Mama Day is gone." Right? Like she said that is over. We had a little funeral in there. We buried Mama Day, and now we've just got Day. I mean, I was very impressed with Davon's package. I mean, feel weird saying somebody's package.
Well, you make a good point, and I did write that she says that she recognizes her legacy is how intuitive she is. That is the exact word I used to describe her on our draft. So I'm glad that she's like really self-aware of that. Like I said in the draft, like I'm excited to see Davon 3.0. I just, I don't know. It was. I thought it was just. I feel like we've seen a lot of Davon.
I was happy to see Beth in her package. I'm too immature to say the word package. I was happy to see Christmas in her package with her boyfriend and their child Loyal and how they're going to be co-parenting together. I wonder who's going to teach him how to drive. Next group. Next.
No, I will say with Christmas, though, a wonderful reminder of just how fit she is. Like we didn't get to see that. Holy shit, her biceps would crush people.
So I'm watching with my friend, right? He came over, all this package talk. This is why I watch it. So I can't. So I'm watching with my friend, and he's watched only like 2 seasons with me, right? And so we're watching all these people, and his expression as some of the women was very fun. And he sees Christmas, he's like, dang. And then she turns around and he goes, "She ain't got no ass." And he said,
"That's it."
He's like, "Okay, next." And then we'll get to his reaction to Keisha. Ooh.
If your reaction wasn't that to Keisha,
Keisha looked good. We'll get there later. I'm all about Keisha right now.
Who was in group 2? We had.
Okay, so group 2, we started with Tyler Crispin. I was like, oh god, I'm surprised they didn't show him like with Angela too much, right?
They showed
That's
more
a
of
joke,
Swaggy
right?
than they did of Angela.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like CBS just like loves Tangela so much. I was just expecting more of that, but instead we got a huge montage
Wait,
of
are
him.
you being serious?
Yeah.
There was not
I
a lot of
literally
Angela.
thought it was all Tangela.
Oh, really? Well,
They show him. What do you think about this jewelry design? And then like you show them being like, "I
The
love
jewelry
you," in the
designs
baby house, and
for-
like
maybe I was
stuff.
tweeting at
Seriously?
that time, but once because like whenever Tyler's on, I just kind of check out. But when I looked up, they
Me
were doing a montage of him fumbling over his relationships, and that's exactly what I said when we were talking about him. So I'm glad that he's identifying like what held him back from being one of the best players of all time.
You know what he didn't admit to was the fumble of him and Bailey, which, in my opinion, is still stemmed in a microaggression.
But Butch Tyler was supposed to hate
Yeah.
again.
It's like the wind.
But
You
he
pick, you know,
writes.
it's- comes and
But he writes checks he can't pay. I mean, he writes checks.
God, listen, stay off the hair products, okay? And the few, I don't know what was happening with this
What's
man's
that saying?
hair. You're writing checks your ass with your mouth that your ass can't cash,
Oh,
right?
that's it. Okay, I forgot.
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it's called balls to the wind.
Get your balls to get them out. There's
For
a
those that
wind.
don't get that reference, please go back and watch. What was it?
Balls.
Our Brant Steele?
Look,
Yeah, it was our Brant Steele video from a week
Something
ago.
I do want to say, did we notice the lack of Josh and Casey in video package and mentions?
Well,
I think it's
no,
because they tested.
like,
Julie
were
Chen
they-
mentioned on an interview yesterday that
There
people
were
did
positive.
test positive for COVID, and I bet that's probably why. So I bet production.
And then the next day, Josh is like, the rumors aren't true.
Yeah, I'm like bullshit. I'm like I called this shit on the draft. I just want to point that out there.
I was wrong, Tyler. I was wrong.
Again, I
whatever.
love it. I love to hear it. Okay, and then of course we go into Ian's intro package.
Wow.
I almost said Ian's package.
Well, anyway, package. Every time you say package, you have to do it ASMR.
Here's my favorite part.
Ian's package.
Ian's like, I've changed so much and I've matured so much, but he hasn't. Like, he
No.
just hasn't. He's,
Did you guys
I have a
sense the
girlfriend
entire
now.
episode? Ian was so nervous.
He looked so scared.
He's wearing the same outfit that he was
"What did I
wearing when he
sign up
won.
for?"
yep, he would, and my friend caught that too. But no, he's like, I've changed and I've matured and I've done this. But I mean, even when he came into the house, I mean, and you know, from his video package, I was like, okay, sure, dude. The only thing that's changed is the gray hair thingy you got going up in the front. Like, that's it. Like, you are the same Ian, and I love it.
He's
So
in the
here's
same
thing.
outfit. He's in the same outfit.
You're
Here's
not
what I have
wrong.
to say. When it comes
Thank
to nerd characters, I find them so not charismatic, but just like I find myself drawn to them because of how genuinely awkward they are. It's the same with like Nicole Anthony, where like Nicole Anthony goes up to Cody at the very end and goes, "Good job." Like, you know, like so weird, right? But like Ian, like the way he even kissed his wife, like on the forehead in the package was, I was like, oh, that was awkward, but that was kind of cute.
It's not his wife. It's his
I just at
Whatever.
1:30 my time, I want to turn on the feeds and I want to see Ian like crawled under couches again. Like, I want to see Ian like sniffing the chairs in the sink. Like, I want to go back to
Wait,
that.
sniffing the chairs?
Oh, you don't remember his very first season?
I didn't watch his first season,
Okay.
so this is news to me.
He
So,
had some wild nights. Those
The
first
very
two nights.
first night, he like made it his goal after everybody's asleep to cover every inch of the Big Brother house. And I mean, he's like crawling and sniffing and smelling and looking at everything. Go watch Ian's like first. It's fantastic. The dude
All
was like,
I'm getting in that imagery is people going, "Whoa, it's time to go to bed," getting up, and he's like smelling where their ass just was on the couch.
"You're not that far off, though."
That
Like,
is so fucking gross. I take back what I said about that goes a step a little bit too far.
You get pink eye COVID from that nowadays.
Pink eye COVID. They got that pink eye COVID.
Well, he is in the have-not room. So, do you guys think that he was playing up like how nervous he was to kind of maybe diminish
Oh,
the threat level?
He
as-
said he wasn't going to listen. Tyler said he wasn't going to win anything,
Mhm.
and he almost won. Like
Yeah.
he won to play in HOH, and then he literally almost beat Cody's HOH.
Very
But
impressive.
to be fair, Cody said he wasn't going to try to win it until he saw who he was playing against. So that could have changed Ian's mindset too.
Yeah, it's true. It was nice to see Cody play. Because I've always liked Cody. I hate the out of his brother. But listen, Andrew. I see you down there. I see you.
Why are you hitting me on the head with you?
Stop that.
And we'll get to Cody. We'll get to Cody.
Yeah, we'll get to Cody. Okay, so of course next we have Kevin. Almost like I think one of the biggest question marks in terms of like I cannot believe that he's
one of the biggest fresh airs of the episode.
Yeah,
like literally.
Go ahead, Google me.
Yeah,
one of just the biggest, and then he puts on that wig and he gets in that persona, and I hope we see her in the house. Like I want that.
He was right. That shade was all him.
But just as somebody that recaps Drag Race, what did you think about Anita Vito as the Drag Race?
First of all, I'm all here for a comedy queen with a great pun name, so snaps. Secondly, not the worst first time in drags I've ever seen. I'm here for it.
Yeah. I totally agree, Andrew. Like Kevin was like one of the shining stars of the episode.
I think that Kevin had the best intro package.
Love him. Loved his package. Everything about his package.
And to be fair, we were doing so good, and we'll get to the competition later. I'll discuss. But just like the oddballs were winning, right?
Good.
Like it was shaping up there for a while that we're not going to have these alphas, and then Cody and Memphis it up.
Can we also say that, like, in the back of my head, all I can think was, I need the loud, vibrant personalities that are fun to connect. And I immediately was like, I need Davon and Kevin to connect. And who were the two people who were screaming to hug each other?
Yeah.
Kevin and Davon. And
I wrote that down, Beth. Like they gave each other such a big hug. And I think I called it on our draft that I could see them like really working well together.
Totally.
You know, for a while there, we weren't sure who was going to fill that gay person's role in this episode. It was shaping up at one point like we didn't think there was going to be one at all, and very few people I think would have picked Kevin. And I am so excited that he is in this cast, and I'm so excited to see what he's going to bring this season. And not just from that vibrant personality, the dude can play the game, right? Like he's going to be entertaining to watch. He's going to be the game player, and I think he's going to mesh very, very well with a lot of people in this cast. And I was very impressed. And again, for a lot of the people, it was there. But then we got, and I'm going to talk about this in his package, that he wants to do this so he can adopt a child. And that was just like...
I thought that was so sweet.
I loved it. It's like, you know, when other people are like, oh, I'd be nice if I could pay for my wedding, like stuff like that. Like on top of that, all I could sit back and say, like, what it did was subliminally draw attention to the fact that like LGBTQ people especially are like at a disadvantage of like being able to have kids in terms of not only conceiving on their own, but like the fact that like it is incredibly expensive to adopt. Plus, if anything, it made me think of all the different areas and states that still have regulations over whether or not LGBTQ people can adopt or are trying to push legislation that makes it even harder. So like, I know that that's not what the point was, but it made me think even more so about that. So,
but it was so perfectly done, and kudos to production because it was not a focus of the package.
No,
it was not I'm only here so I can do this and do this and do this and do harp on it. It was just this short little, 10 to 15 second part. And it was so powerful in where it was and how it was presented. So kudos to Kevin, kudos to production. I thought that was so well done. And just Kevin's intro was the best of the night.
Absolutely. Of course we saw him 10 years ago play, right? And back then he was like super young, very like social and like out there. He was literally in the offbeat clique in that season. I think we just got a donation.
Yeah, Stephen, thank you. We really appreciate that.
I love all the pride flags, but it's just warmed my heart seeing that like somebody like Kevin had like a happy ending, and to see him like come back to Big Brother where like he got all these like big opportunities in life, and to see him come back to that is really, really special.
How many third placers do we have? I feel like we have a ton of third placers in this season.
Let me check while you guys keep talking.
Sorry, I feel like every time as I was watching, it was third.
Austin
else
in
in
the chat
this group?
wanted to know why live streams aren't working. They don't go live until after the Pacific stream is over, so it should be about 2 a.m.
2:30 EST, 1:30 CST is.
What time is what time is that for us, Andrew?
Allison, you're gonna be asleep.
1:30.
Listen, I'm asleep right now. Am I awake?
1:30. It is 1:30 our time, Allison. My goal is to go shower, take a cat nap, and be up and ready to go.
Andrew, to answer your question, there have been 5 third-place finishers on this season. 6 if you count Janelle twice for her 2 third-place finishes.
So that's less than I thought, but that's still a
Still
lot
decent.
But there's still some runner-ups, though. Like, we have, 3 runner-ups as well?
Yeah.
Like, with Tyler, Memphis, and
Danielle.
Cody. Oh,
one,
Danielle, so 4.
And 1 first boot.
And 2
Yeah.
Okay, can I say something? Okay, well, I'm going to wait till we get to him. Who's left? Who's left in
Okay,
this
so we
group?
have Enzo next. Enzo's looking good. He's looking in real good shape. I thought his intro package was really good too.
I was into Meow Meow's package.
I love how he's like my antler.
I can see Deb at home being all hot and bothered over Enzo.
I'm divorced. Can I raise my? Because she's like, Julie's like, who else got married since the show? And it's just like, I got married and divorced. Hell yeah.
Oh my God. And then Memphis and Keisha both raised their hand for divorce too, which I was like, yes, they are going to be a showmance. I'm telling you guys, I'm calling it now. The Big Brother 22 premiere. Keisha and Memphis are going to
5 minutes ago, you were saying that she was throwing shade at Memphis and not trusting Memphis, and now they're going to be sleeping together.
Listen, every love story is a journey, okay?
There are ups and downs.
Also,
it's not linear.
And we'll talk about Memphis, but they didn't show his baby mama at all in that intro. Production wants Memphis and Keisha to happen. I'm telling you. I'm ready to stand Daddy Enzo. Okay, so did you guys have any thoughts about Enzo?
No, I was just gonna say I like I liked his package. No, I liked for someone who doesn't know him, like in terms of watching him play, it was I think one of the best recaps and also shows like who he is now and what's he gonna do. Like all of them did that, but for someone who has obviously such a personality, I got a lot out of just a few minutes. You know what I mean?
I thought there was more credit given to Enzo than Enzo is worth in that video package as far as what he did in that season.
Yeah, but he's a legend, not an all-star, Andrew.
I truly believe Enzo is a legend. I think he's one of the most underrated players of the game. He's the one that made the Brigade Alliance in the second or third day of BB12. Very exciting to see him play again.
You're entitled to that opinion, Tyler.
It hurts.
Let's see. Okay, so next we have Janelle. Janelle, the first 4-time player in
Buxoms.
Janelle has been to Dr. Will Kirby's office one too many times.
Wow. Her hair looks great though.
Janelle.
At first I wasn't going for plastic surgery joke, and then I realized I could get there.
Listen, I ain't gonna say anything about anybody's plastic surgery, okay?
Listen, I'm all for people who want to have plastic surgery. That is absolutely your choice, but it also know that we can tell.
It's not news, right?
And also,
what?
You know, I won't go there. I'm gonna.
Okay, all right.
No, let's go there. I'm ready.
No, I'm good.
So I feel like Janelle starting her intro package with doing a tumble and then saying I didn't land it. I hope that's not a metaphor for how she's gonna do this season. But of course they show her amazing appearances in BB6, BB7, winning all those comps and everything like that. So pretty standard.
They didn't show a lot from her coach's season.
No reason to though. Let's see. And then next we have Bailey. And
that's what we're gonna say about Janelle.
I mean, if you guys want to say something else,
I don't have anything else.
Nobody's saying anything.
It was typical Janelle, right?
Yeah.
It was what it was. There was not a whole lot more to it. I don't see a transformation from where she was then to where she is now, besides her physical appearance. It is what it is. I'll talk more about it when we get to the comp, I guess, because let's just say, not impressed. Oh, I can't wait to talk about Keisha running the wrong direction, though.
Oh my god, that was so crazy.
Sorry.
So we can yada yada through the rest. I mean, Nicole Anthony, she has her introduction.
Anderson.
Anderson,
Nicole
who?
Anderson.
I don't know who this Anthony person is you keep bringing up.
I thought it was very cool that they gave her podcast a plug on there. I was like, wow, I wish they would do that.
What's the name of it? They didn't even give me a name of her podcast.
It's reality recaps.
Reality recaps.
Oh, is that her?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's on with Eric. They became really good friends after she got off the season.
They've liked some of our stuff.
Truly, I feel that Nicole and her video package was 100% sure. The growth we have seen from Nicole, from then to now, is just insane to see.
I feel a lot more confident Nicole is here in Big Brother All Stars.
We feel it was like, Ian, I've changed, and he's not. And Nicole's like literally like you're this caterpillar cocooning into this butterfly, and
Ian's got a girlfriend now.
What?
Ian's got a girlfriend now.
Yeah. Well, I thought you said Nicole has a girlfriend now, and I was like, that's bigger news. We need to discuss that.
Well, I'm not dropping that too.
Last time I knew, she just broke up with Tommy's brother, so there's a difference here. But no, I felt the same way, Andrew. This was when we did our draft the other day. I was trying to choose between Memphis and Nicole Anthony, and I was sitting back, and Nicole is somebody that I feel like has a harder road to winning, but does have the tools as long as she has the confidence. I think that she's just such a genuinely amazing person. She's obviously connected well with people within doing reality podcasting, especially on a show like Your Reality Recaps, which typically does do post eviction interviews with the house guests at some point. It's not necessarily right after they get off the show. It could be a month or two later. So I think that she's found herself pretty well connected. She's been able to mend and build bridges with people on her season that she had conflicts and issues with. So she's somebody that like I said at when I was drafting her, that she's somebody I feel like people feel like I'm not going to get in trouble with her for crossing, so therefore she's worth keeping around, versus I think I'll be in more trouble with this person, so I can keep Nicole as a number. So what I got to see in that package is that she has a little bit more fire to her, and I kind of like that. I'm really hoping that she sticks around.
Yeah,
my fear, and the only fear I have for Nicole is if we try to play safe this week and try to go after someone with less connections in the game. She could be that, because you don't have the, I go after Janelle, now I've got Keisha. I go after Memphis, now I've got Keisha. Because I don't see Nicole and David as this, like, that doesn't connect with me, even though they were in the same season.
Thank you.
Oh, Austin, thank you so much for the donation.
A lot of people in the chat are saying they're worried about her becoming a perpetual pawn for the season. I could totally see
it.
That's what I said that on Alex's podcast, that I felt like if we were talking about, we're going to get to the fact that Cody is HOH, right? But if we're going to get to that point, who are the people that Cody specifically, someone who's really kind of in the middle of like the old new people, who has kind of some weird connections through his brother, through the challenge, through all these different kinds of things, like who are the people he would go for? I feel like he would say, no one's going to vote out Nicole. I'll put Nicole up. And I feel like he would put up somebody like Ian. And like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like those were the kind of nominations that came to me.
What about Keisha, though? Because he said to Julie that Keisha. He said Keisha.
Girl, I didn't even watch Keisha. I know his name is Keisha.
Yeah, it's Keisha.
I could see him putting I could see him putting up Keisha and Janelle together and saying, like, you guys are such an obvious pair. You guys are old school. I see him going more new school than old school, to be honest. So I think that's probably where his head is at.
I guess I saw it a little different. I saw the Keisha comment as more of a respect than a target, right?
Me too.
Like, I didn't see it as much of a, hey, I'm going to go after him. He scares me, as a holy crap, Keisha's here, right? Like, that's kind of how I saw that, and maybe I read that wrong, but I didn't see Cody saying it to answer the comment directly. I didn't see Cody being worried about Keisha. I think he just said, I think the question was, who are you the most surprised about?
Yeah,
and I think that was more of a respect statement than that. I will say, since we're kind of talking about Cody a little bit, Josh Mendelson, who's a good friend of mine, Beth knows him, he messaged me during the show and said, when the feeds come on tonight, it's going to be Cody, Enzo, and Memphis in the HOH room, and the boys' alliance will start.
What did I freaking say the other day?
Yes, that is what I'm telling you. I can smell it.
It's going to be the three of them, and
I would love to smell that room. I'm just saying. Can I go in there and sniff the seats?
Oh my God. Ian's going to come in afterwards.
I actually could see Ian being the fourth in that. Believe it or not, I could see Ian being a fourth in
an
that.
unloyal fourth, like a Matt Hoffman type situation,
or an Ian Quack Pack type situation.
Yeah,
Forget
that's
Matt
true.
Hoffman.
He has a whole bathroom full of rubber ducks to remind him of his Quack Pack days.
Ian was unloyal.
Yeah,
but this is like, so you guys are going to have to teach me on this too. So don't you guys also feel like, doesn't Janelle have a history of working with strong guys?
Yes.
So do you think it could be Janelle and Keisha that also joined Cody and Memphis and Enzo?
I want Janelle, Keisha, Memphis, Keisha. It's what I want. It's what I
want.
I
would love that.
That would be so cool. They could bring Danielle in as a fifth too.
I knew that was coming, you little.
I want the old school to kind of work together and show these younger kids how it's really done and how the game is played. Because
but I don't want old school versus new school. Like I want the old school here, but I do not want old school.
Well, I think it's going to be clear. I think we're going to see a Kevin Devon, Bailey, who's I can't think of the other guy that I was thinking of, Alliance. But
I just don't think Bailey and Tyler are all-star worthy players, and I have a huge issue with the two of them being there. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
I think
Tyler is worthy.
As a Tyler hater, I think Tyler is worthy of an all-star spot.
Okay, so let's back up. When we were in the draft 3 nights ago, or 4 nights ago, or whatever it was.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember, but I said it should be called Big Brother Something to Prove. And Julie says everyone has something to prove.
Yeah.
She said that. You just call this Big Brother 22 something to prove.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. Even the winners, Ian has something to prove. Nicole Franzel has something to prove because they all even said in their video packages, I get looked down upon that I didn't deserve my win.
Yeah.
I just feel it was a mislabeling of the season.
Yeah, I totally.
Here's the thing, it's obvious that, and this was obvious the other day too when Julie talked about it, that the theme of this season is going to be redemption. It's going to be, I have something to prove. It's going to be, I had to fix a mistake I made in the past. It's those kind of things, right? So I agree with you, Andrew. Why aren't we just, instead of calling it Big Brother All-Stars, why aren't we calling it Big Brother Redemption?
Big Brother Redemption. Take a book from Survivor. Survivor has returning seasons all the time. But they don't call them All-Stars. Like Heroes versus Villains. That was All-Stars 2, right? That was All-Stars 2. But we didn't call it All-Stars 2. And so I think that they could have done so much more with the rebranding of this to make it something better. And then I'm cool with the David Alexander cast. And then I'm cool with all of these different people because you didn't call it All-Stars. I have a problem. And even watching Christmas's video package, she got 3rd place. To me, that's notable enough to be in an All-Star season.
Yeah, but let's keep...
Bailey has no reason to be there.
I have a problem with Christmas making it to 3 because it was handed to her. Competitions were handed to her because she was injured and it was easy. So she even said it herself in her package that this time it's going to be different because she really didn't get to physically play.
I will play devil's advocate. If she's an unlikable social player, nobody rolls out that red carpet for her in BB19.
Yeah.
She did have to step up another side of her game to get other people to feel like they could trust her and want to keep her around for their benefit.
I agree. I was anti-Christmas going into this after watching her package and watching her highlight and remembering that she did get 3rd place. And to be honest, I thought she was 6th for a second. But to get 3rd, that is deserving of an all-star spot. Yeah. Much more than a Bailey, much more than a David. And I think that's about it. But I mean, so
let's also keep in mind, guys, the original Big Brother 7 All-Stars had some questionable picks too. Chicken George, who didn't even play in the voting version of Big Brother.
Get out of this room.
How
Chicken
dare
George
you? Were you even alive when Chicken George played the first time?
Let me finish. Erica, of course, also not a great player, not like a big standout. She goes on to make final two. So are they going to get like a bullseye target with every person in the cast in the middle of a pandemic, no less? No.
I got to go back to this. I can't let this Chicken George thing go here, Tyler. I just can't do it.
He's a funny guy, but he literally played a different game.
He went out onto that veto field, and he beat some of these legends
in All-Stars. Yeah. I'm talking about his original season. David,
I was recreating the Will speech. Go with me.
All right, Andrew, when you stand up, sometimes it looks like you have a hat that's spinning around.
Do that again.
I thought you were going to talk about my package.
Your package is twirling around your head.
So speaking of packages, I loved Keisha's intro package. So much fun. Of course, they mention Keisha's birthday, the infamous incident, and I'm so glad that we just recapped that like a few weeks ago. So cool. And she has 3 dogs now, so that's very important. I think her original dog that was
first time, so she's really she's grown.
And that dog is still alive. I checked on her Facebook. The dog that she loved in Big Brother 10 is still kicking. So good job. Let's see.
Sorry, that was my laser pointer.
Hey, listen, here's the thing. I was about to chase it. Here's the thing. I wished Keisha happy birthday on Facebook because, we're Facebook friends. Okay, don't be Jay. But anyway, so I said, happy birthday. I hope you're in Sequester celebrating.
Danny Boy or Boney. Wait, Danny in my Twitch. Just the rumor is that Brittany was asked and was one of the first people to be asked, but she turned it down.
Yeah. And then of course somebody says here, I love Keisha, but she seemed a little apprehensive and nervous. Understandably,
yeah.
I get that.
It's been a minute,
especially if you're someone whose last time was on the season was more than 10 years ago.
Definitely. I was really watching for the Memphis and Keisha reunion when they all got together in the living room and they gave each other a big hug and it felt so great. I think that they're going to work together this season. I'm excited.
Are we talking about Keisha? Is that who we're talking about?
Yeah, Keisha. Yeah, her intro package.
She was the person I was the most excited to see.
Me too.
She still has it. She still got that. She still. It's just I don't know. I'm a Keisha fan, and she looks almost the exact same as she did in BB10. She aged very, very well. I'm super duper excited for Keisha to play. I don't want a Memphis showmance because I want Keisha to do well.
I don't think we're gonna get that.
I don't want showmances. I would love this season to be showmance free.
Another person in the chat also asked us a little bit earlier, do we think that there's any showmancing that's going to happen this season? I don't think so. I think this is going to be the first season without a Big Brother showmance.
And let's say, okay, if it goes really well, first of all, I am counting on each and every single one of you at home to be watching this every week so that we get the best ratings ever. And if there's not a showmance, then maybe fucking casting will go, oh, I should probably cast fucking gamers and not Instagram models who don't even know what the fucking show is.
Thank you.
And maybe Allison will get on the fucking show.
That is the most Beth has ever used the F-bomb on this show at once. And so I know she means it.
Also, I'm a little tipsy.
Keisha, I want Keisha to do so well.
I am so for it.
I'm so here for Keisha. And if Casey had to drop for me to get that, I'm here.
I really don't want to see Casey play again.
People are saying, put Allison on Big Brother.
I've been trying for 19 years. They just don't want me. And that's okay. You know who wants me? You guys do. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here for you.
Yes. And we're here for
and Finley, my cat.
So I think that's all we need to really talk about for intro packages. Of course, we saw David as well.
We talked about everybody?
Yeah, we haven't talked about David and Cody, but I thought theirs were pretty standard as well, right?
Did we talk about Keisha's package?
No.
What did you think about that one? All right, what did you think about that one, Andrew?
Hold on. The way you speak is really convincing. It's called my job. Yes. I've tried, I've applied, I've gotten a round or two in. I'm sorry, I'm going off pocket for a second, Tyler. But I'm not in a phase of my life right now where I could go into Big Brother. So maybe when I'm 40 years old, I can be the Jerry. Did anybody see the Dan?
Jerry. Stop that shit, because I'm 40 years old and I'm not going to be called the Jerry.
Did anybody see Jerry's Instagram picture from Dan today? Tyler, you shared that, didn't you?
He's ripped as fuck. He's ready to play.
He wants to play. Bring him back.
You think Jerry could have gotten under 22 seconds in that conversation?
I don't think Jerry can do 22 seconds on anything.
Well, maybe one thing.
Oh, no. Depends if April's there.
Casers.
Oh my god.
Casers package. Sorry, Beth.
Also, Libra still a liar, loves Steven.
Of course. Yeah.
Steven, do you have any?
Do you have any insights?
I love. I'm trying to talk about Casey's package.
Okay.
I loved the family aspect, and I love that he still played homage to the Muslim that he is. I love that he still played homage to the practicing of that, because I remember that so much from Casey's first season. I remember him going to do his prayers and everything. I remember that, and I love to see that still existed. And when Janelle came around that corner, Casey's face.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like, all right, game on. Like right there, he was like, let's go, and there's no doubt in my mind.
Something that is not about Cialis, but is actually really serious, is when I was on Podquester, I happened to be on with Sharifa from Sequester, and it was actually really important for her to be able to share. Like, Kaser is the first person of Middle Eastern descent that I saw on television that was openly talking about being a Muslim in the middle of the 2000s, when
2006, I think.
Yeah, when we're in the middle of the war on terror and Islamophobia was at a pretty high, and to see someone who was just themselves and was playing a competition reality show gave her the first chance that she said, "Oh, I could play something like this sometime." So I seeing him back, seeing that as a part of his package, I think is incredibly important. And I'm so excited to see that. And it's a good reminder. I think, you know what, I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this as a tokenizing thing. I think a lot of people are shitting on people like David and Bailey. And I'm sorry, they aren't looking at the people, the producers aren't, that would just be an all-white cast. Like, this is important to have POC representation, especially for someone like David, who is incredibly intuitive, incredibly smart, and just didn't have his chance. I understand with the All-Stars portion, right? I understand that. But to continually shit on someone like David when he's clearly going to be important representation for other people, I do think like we do need to consider that as a portion.
Absolutely.
Here.
And that's why I said for the draft, his redemption story is really production's redemption story.
Exactly.
The racist shit that happened on Big Brother 21.
What's so wrong is that it took riots and CBS worrying about what makes them look right to be able to get this kind of a cast together. Because I'm sorry, the minorities, we've got that this season, right? When's the last time we've had this many
but
people?
like also like why put Christmas in when you can put someone like Kalia in? Why put Christmas in when you can have like a billion other POC women? Like,
well, let's also keep in mind Josh and Casey were
could have brought Shima back.
Oh my god.
And also, to be fair, Beth, again, we don't know if these people were asked or not, and what current situations came into play with that. I do not think that when they sat down and said, let's cast an all-star season, I don't think Christmas's name was mentioned in that first meeting, right? Like,
I'm sure it wasn't.
And so I agree with what you're saying, and I agree that there are better replacements for that in that aspect.
Yeah.
But then you also have to look on, are we getting too heavy on BB10? So there's a lot more.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm also sitting back and off the top of my head, like as someone who doesn't even watch, like hasn't watched all the seasons, I'm like, where's Helen? Where's
the fact that they had such slim pickings to choose from
is a problem. That's exactly the issue.
Is the point? Yeah,
agree.
Oh no, we're all on the same page. We're all on the same page, and we don't understand what happened with casting. We don't understand who was COVID positive. We don't understand who said no for other reasons and such. But the whole point of this is exactly what you said, Andrew. Is that it's fucking sad that we had to get to a point where there's a complete social revolution happening where CBS goes, oh, we should probably not look like the racist dicks that we are.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier,
Truly.
America give us the ratings this season to show that this type of cast can be successful in the future.
Exactly.
It's gonna come down to us, and it's gonna come down to us giving this season the support, because CBS finally, yes, is it perfect? No. Is it a step up from what we've ever had in the past? Absolutely. And It's gonna take us standing behind that and saying, okay, you listened. It took an all-star season to do it. Here's our support back to this, and that it's gonna come from that.
Absolutely. And we hopefully are not going to hear any stories about so-and-so wanted me to be a stereotypical angry Black woman in the diary room, or they wanted me to talk this way, because it's like, what is going to be the assumed identity that I'm performing for this show? These are all brilliant characters in their own way. They represent a diverse amount of personalities. Let them be who they are in the diary room, for the love of God.
Yeah. Yes,
just putting it out there.
Please.
Sorry, I needed that moment just to say all of that shit.
And
I mean, our show is literally called My Weekly Meltdown.
We are ranting.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so of course we get into the competition. I think it's pretty a universal opinion that not the best competition for this head of household.
Not
right?
the best format. I don't like it.
I liked the twist idea as a whole, especially for this live premiere. I thought it was very exciting. And I did like that they split it up into like groups of 4. But it really favored the men, I think. Especially like even a lot of the women were even saying it was like too heavy. And then they had to like bring it down like even further than the guys did. Just a lot of little things that kind of favored the guys, I think.
Believe it or not, I'm going to disagree with you, Tyler. Sorry, Beth. I'm going to disagree with you. I don't like that they were in groups of 4, because to me, again, it's not a random pool. And so just because you didn't beat someone in your 4 doesn't necessarily you wouldn't have beat out someone else in another 4. So there's a lot of luck that's involved in this pool you go in on situation. And so to me, I don't like that, because I feel like this first HOH in an all-star season specifically is very important. Like in a non-all-star season where there's no preconceived first impression, it's not a
tone for sure.
So you don't want any luck involved.
Why did all the groups have to have a different goal? Why couldn't they all have to go for the middle one?
So
because
I think
ridiculous.
It's because, I think it's because they wanted to use an untouched room that maybe didn't have like stuff like moved by people that came in and did the round before them, is probably my thought. But I get your point, Beth. Like
because it was ridiculous, honestly. Like Danny hit the comic book room like 15 times. Like she was so close to getting the one at the end. Like it was really ridiculous that both groups of the women had to go to the very bottom of it after saying that it was really heavy for them. And meanwhile, the guys had to go for the 2 closest ones, and which like instantaneously made the odds very different for men to women. And on top of that too, like it completely skews, like, what's the whole point of separating them out into 4 groups other than you can only set up 4 different ones? Like that makes no sense. Like you have to have a control. If you're going to do an experiment, for example, or a competition, you have to have a level playing field. That wasn't a level playing field. That was not equitable.
A time-limited competition where if you don't complete this by this amount of time, no one goes on, makes no sense in a regards of a live show. And what would have happened with these envelopes if we had 8? Were there more cash prizes? Were there more have-nots?
Mm-hmm.
Did we just get rid
more
of
have-nots? Yeah, that's what I would
normally say. Isn't have-nots about 4 or 5?
I don't know how big that COVID room is, so we don't know.
but that was a question. I mean, the envelopes. I don't think that competition was thought through very well. And when Allison's like, "We've come up with this great way to be able to create our big competitions into this season," you failed.
I think it's more so just to individualize, like really feature each of these all-stars. Of course, because like we saw their intro packages with their groups and everything. So I feel like it gave them a little bit bigger of a spotlight to maybe like think about separately from the rest of the cast. I don't know. But yeah, I agree. It's not the best competition. But very impressed to see Nicole Anthony be there and
Kevin.
Yeah, so lots of underdogs. Maybe Beth was onto something with her draft here. But
please, for the love of God, make this not be the only thing for the entirety of the season where the underdogs seem to do well.
But if I were in one of those groups and I felt like I was kind of on the outs, I would probably take that opportunity at the very start of the round to say, if one of us gets it, let's keep each other safe, right? I wonder if like production told them they can't do that. Probably not. But I expected at least like one of these all-stars to come up with that idea.
Yeah.
And to be fair, this competition too requires a lot of calmness, a lot of steadiness, a lot of focus. And when you're just moving into the Big Brother All-Star house after being sequestered and not seeing anyone for 2 weeks, that's hard to do in this competition, right? Like, it's there. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I do want to talk. I wasn't a fan of the live DR tonight. Like the fact that you just gave it to Cody as the HOH winner, and that was the only one we saw. I wasn't a big fan of the live diary room session.
I loved it.
The diary room is dope.
It's
The
awesome.
what?
The diary room is dope.
I think the background's a little too busy. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it.
I hope they go back to
I loved it,
talking
but I
to-
think. Oh, go ahead, Allison.
No, I was just gonna say, I just hope they go back to talking to the HOH like they did in the past.
That's
in the
what I loved
HOH
about it.
Back in the
That's
day.
what
That's
I
what it
loved.
reminded me of. Yeah.
I've only seen one season where they did that, and I was like, why don't they do this anymore? Why aren't we getting an unbiased report live, like not cutting shit that the people are saying on the editing floor? This is a live conversation with the HOH. Like, I loved that aspect of it.
Yeah.
So now that we know that Cody wins HOH, let's hear you guys' predictions. Who do you guys think that he's going to nominate?
Okay, so here's my question, and I want to talk about this. So nominations are Sunday.
Yes.
And for us, when do we think are they going to be Friday?
Probably Saturday.
You think they'll be that?
I think it'll be tomorrow.
I don't think they would have rushed like the first round.
But isn't it usually the first day after HOH's one?
Usually,
but I think the safety suite's going to have to play out tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that separately too. That's a really good point. But who do you guys think that he's going to nominate?
I'm going with Anelda.
I'm sticking with what I said earlier. I think it's going to be Kaysar and Janelle. I think it's going to be Kaysar and Janelle.
Kaysar.
I really hope that he doesn't do two women, but I have a gut feeling he's going to put up someone like. I think he's going to do one new school, one old school, because he's BB16. He's kind of in the middle. I feel like he's going to do like Nicole Anthony and like Keisha, or Janelle. I think that's what he's going to do.
I think Kaysar and Keisha.
No way. Keisha didn't go up.
Kaysar and Kesha.
Because I think Cody and Memphis are going to do this, and I think Memphis will protect Keisha.
I don't know. I don't know if she'll trust him because look what he did to her last time.
No, I don't think it's going to happen. Now, I'm going to go back to kind of what Beth and me have been talking about a little bit. I think, and I hope that Cody has seen what Polly has done to his reputation.
Oh, good. Can we talk about that for a second?
And he's going to be very smart in who he nominates because of that and because of what happened with Jackson last season. And so I do think that he's not – I don't see two minorities going up. I just don't see it.
I agree with that.
Because Cody's smarter than his brother, and he sees what his brother has done in certain instances and how he's isolated and alienated people and how he's done things the wrong way. And I think Cody's reputation, him being in the film industry, him doing all of this stuff, and it's very easy for him to be canceled. I think he's going to be very smart. I do not think – so when you say like a Janelle, when you see that, I don't think that that's going to be a case. Now, what's sad – is that's not a decision because of his personal beliefs, but we're basing that on the reputation of what other people think. But I think that he's smarter enough to that where I think you're Davon, I think you're Bailey. I don't think they're going to be in a lot of trouble this week.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point, Andrew. And I totally agree with that.
I agree.
For Cody in particular.
See, originally I thought, I could see him putting up Christmas because she just won money. But then I got thinking, like, I don't know. I feel like he's going to. Oh, thank you so much, Stefan.
Danny for the win. Thank you, Stefan. Totally agreed.
I think that Cody's very into fitness. Christmas is really into fitness.
I can see
Cody
them
is
hooking
not
up.
afraid to have both men and women on his side. And I feel like he's going to try to make alliances with people like Christmas, someone who's not someone like he expected. If you look at who he was really close with in BB16, like obviously there was controversy with like him and Christine, but like Christine was probably one.
Something about that today.
What'd you say?
She said something about that on Twitter today. Christine did.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I have many things I could say about that, but regardless, I just feel like he doesn't always align with the people that you just think he's going to.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what he does do.
This is a really good comment. Does his comment what the house wants hold weight? Like maybe the house would want the 2 winners out, Ian and Nicole.
I wouldn't be shocked by that. I think that'd be a
wouldn't either.
bold first move, and I would love it for an all-star
It
season.
would be
Nicole to
totally
go
agree
first.
with that. And also, we have to remember Cody and Nicole. They're from their original season together, so that could be a way to kind of hide the fact that they could be working together this season.
All right, here's my prediction. I'm locking it in right now.
Lock it.
Cody is going to nominate Nicole Anthony and Tyler Crisper.
Tyler Greasy.
Crispin?
You mean Greasy?
No, I said Crisper earlier, but I think because I agree with what you say from a workout standpoint, right, Beth? Like the fitness, I feel like Tyler could fit in there, but I also think Cody's going to want to get rid of too many physical threats that can screw him up later.
I agree.
Tyler and Cody as players have a lot in common, so I could definitely see why Cody would be threatened by another type of player like himself in the game.
So I think Tyler could be in some hot trouble this week. I think he could be the big target, and I think he's a good target to go after because if you give Tyler too much, he's going to go. I think Cody's going to have Tyler's number this week.
Yeah,
I'm going to go to polar opposite direction.
Of course you are.
Of course I am. I'm going to say that Tyler's going to try to work with Cody. I could see a Tyler.
Everybody's going to try to work with Cody.
Look, I know. I'm just saying. But I really think that, Tyler, Cody, Memphis, meow.
I think Ian will be in there too.
Ian, and if something is telling me Kesar will somehow get in there. I hope he doesn't get nominated. And I'm just going by, I haven't seen fees. I haven't seen anything. I'm just going by what he said when he was talking to Julie. He was like, he goes, you really had to dig deep for that. And I was like, what are you talking about? You really had to dig. Your balls hadn't even dropped yet when Keisha played. Show some respect. But I just, but I like Cody. I'm not knocking the guy. I am so happy to see Cody. I can't stand his brother. I know what it's like to have a crazy ass relative and you don't want to be put in the same freaking category. Okay, that's my son. But it just, I'm give him a chance. Guy, anyone who has never seen Cody play.
He's good.
Don't put him in the same category as Paulie.
Everyone's good.
Yeah, Paulie's a shit. He's a shit.
Rotten
little shit.
I could looking back at this, I can look at any one of these people right now on night one and say any one of them can win. And I can't remember doing that from any season of Big Brother minus the last All-Stars. I mean, there's always some, you always look, Cliff Hogg's never going to win, right? You always see this. Any of these people could win this game.
Let's see. One note, once I saw all of the have-nots together, Ian and Memphis are about to have a bunch of time as have-nots to bond over their shared relationship with Dan. Is this a Renegades 2.0 in the works?
Yes, and I think it's going to get sniffed out.
Do you think that we're going to have a lot of conversation of Dan, who's better, Dan, Derek? Are we going to have a Dan alliance and a Derek alliance?
Them in the kitchen where everybody hangs out. How do you not have that conversation?
But I mean, in terms of, I'm sorry, I'm sure that this is going to be a conversation, but do you think that's going to be a conversation in terms of alliances, like your ties to Dan versus your ties to Derek?
That would be so cool.
Because Nicole Franz also play with Derek. You could have all these different.
Keisha and Memphis with Dan.
And as much as I say that the Cody and Memphis alliance could happen, it could also create an instant rivalry. But I don't think that's a rivalry for this early in the game. I think they're going to want to get each other because they're going to want to prove, I was the better partner. I was the better sidekick. But I think it's too early for that. And nobody, I don't see Cody ruffling feathers. I just don't. I think he's going to make safe nominations.
Yeah, totally agree. Let's see. So I think that's pretty much it. Of course, like we have this ominous safety suite. I think it's just going to be a regular competition where up to 2 people win safety for the week that are not nominated. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe it's before the nominations happen.
I think it's after. I think that whoever wins it's safety, even if they're nominated, and they have the choice to use it at a certain amount of time, and they can even use it on eviction night, forcing the hand of the HOH.
God, that would be very powerful.
Do you think that it's going to? Did they say it's going to be a competition?
Everybody will be invited to the room, so it almost sounds
I
like
think it's like
puzzle.
Well, I think it sounds like it's like the thing from BB20 or the Temptations or whatever it could be. Like you go up and you make a decision. So you might have to give up something in order to give safety, something like that.
To me, it sounded more like, and I could be wrong on this, but the travel where they were on the clues were on the wall.
Oh, yeah, and BB 18, 19?
To get in, and you got the round trip ticket.
Oh God, Jesus, no, get that comment out of here. Nope, we are not doing Pandora's Box. That's like my first
hex? Remember the
Pandora's
hex?
Box is just blatant production.
Halting hex rise, eviction night dies. Halting hex rise, eviction night dies.
Who doesn't want to hear that again?
Well, Andrew, because you said that the safety thing is probably happening tomorrow, I think nominations will happen Saturday. And it gives Cody a little extra time to have all these conversations.
Friday or Saturday? I think Friday.
Saturday. I think Saturday.
Well, but isn't in the past, and correct me if I'm wrong, sorry about that, I saw you raising your hand, and I'm trying to remember the regular Big Brother.
I was slowly saying I don't want to hear that again, the hex thing.
Oh, yeah, I think that, but Tyler, if I'm correct, it's normally eviction on Thursday, noms on Friday, and veto on Saturday before the Sunday show even happens. So if that's the case, wouldn't we be seeing maybe safety suite tomorrow, noms on Friday, veto on Saturday? That puts the veto ceremony back on Monday to get us ready for Thursday's live eviction.
So, Andrew, I think you're totally right for every other week except for this first week. This first week, they're usually in the house for a couple days before the feeds.
2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. And they like to have that time so they can really get all these conversations about the moving first pieces of alliances and stuff. I think the production is going to want that extra day to kind of let more bonds happen and stuff.
Okay.
Unless
who they want is going to be up for elimination, they go quick in the backyard, make this conversation.
Tyler Crispin is getting targeted, which Julie Chen targeted Tyler tonight. She said the last one to sit down is the first one evicted, and Tyler was the last one to sit down. So,
but Christmas was the first one to go into the house.
Yeah, that's also true. I wrote that down. The curse lives on. So,
well, to be fair, Tamar broke that. So.
Yeah, but that was Celebrity Big Brother.
I don't know. If we're going to count her as the first black winner, we should also count her as breaking the...
Look, nobody counts my Big Brother OTT, so we're not counting Big Brother Celebrity either.
Nope, definitely not.
Nobody.
And all I'm saying, Beth, is that ain't nobody's fault but Marcellus's.
All right, so before we wrap up, I want to do a weekly draft update. So here is our official draft. So I have the first head of household. I don't want to brag or anything.
That's the only reason he wanted to do a draft update, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course. But also, me and Beth did a draft just like Survivor winners at war. I was waiting for the cast photos, which just came out, and honestly, they look like shitty iPhone photos, so I'm kind of mad about that. But we will see that bracket next week when I have that.
Wait, but hold on. I just want to point something out real quick before we move on that. You say that you and Beth, just like you did at Winners at War, bitch, I was supposed to be on that draft, and you started it an hour early.
No.
This is
just
for,
crazy point values and stuff. It's not.
Okay, because I thought you were saying we're doing one like then. On the Winners at War, you left me out because you started an hour before you were supposed to.
Trust me, Andrew. You are in this draft. You are locked in. One of your blondes will probably not win, and I can't wait to see that happen.
And I just want to say, go ahead, and I just want to write this down really quick. Allison's
Never good.
picks are
Are you drafting your own board right now?
Memphis and Cody. So this is Allison's draft. Can you see it?
Yep.
Memphis and Cody.
Okay,
There you
hold on. I want to have fun with this. Tyler, can you put the board back up?
Sure, yeah.
Allison, if you could piggyback on any of these 4 teams right now,
It's definitely not mine. I already know.
Yeah, I wouldn't hear.
who would you, not one player, if you could pick to be the co-coach of Team Beth, Team Alex, Team Tyler, Team Andrew, who are you? Who are you hitching your wagon to?
Who am I hitching my? You mean who am I gonna, hook my package?
Which team? Pick a team and tell me who you think has the better overall team.
Lord help me, because this isn't, and I'm only gonna say it one time, and I'm not repeating myself. So don't get excited. I'm gonna have to say, Team Tyler.
I think so too. I was a little worried about my Enzo pick, but I think he's off to a really good start. It seems like he's really.
Beth looks like she's actually on Team Tyler.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Beth, I would totally draft you if you were on Big Brother.
Thank you.
That's the only way I'm gonna get on Big Brother.
Allison, maybe
You are on the underdog team right there.
I was trying to get on, so I'm going this way on my screen, and it comes off, and I'm on the
Pull it back up.
Wait, I have to screenshot this.
I can't figure this out.
Good, perfect. Got it. That's great.
So,
Cool.
For people who didn't watch our draft, okay, I purposely went for people who I thought I had feelings about, or I had this underdog theme. It's like how it ended up. But when you see the draft that Tyler and I went on, I think we have pretty equal picks. And
I think so too. And I hope it's like as close as it was for Winners at War, because that was so much fun. Exciting. So we'll update that every eviction episode. I don't think we need to do it like every show or anything.
This question's come up a couple of times. Allison, who did you root for during Big Brother OTC? It's been a minute. It's a big
Monto. Just kidding.
I was a big cornbread fan. And I was really upset.
Fuck y'all.
Fuck y'all.
Excuse me.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up here. Of course, we don't have too much strategy to talk about yet. It was literally just like intro packages and competition. So we'll have more to talk about next week, but really exciting cast. When I was looking at that whole big wide shot of everybody, I was like, wow, we are really in for a treat this summer. So I'm excited.
We're gonna be eating
Fall.
Well, yeah, summer into fall.
Follow all these people on Twitter. Their Twitter handles are in the windows.
Okay, so I actually have something to add to that.
Okay.
I'm twitting for the first time.
You have a new Twitter.
I have a new Twitter that I'm finally getting on Twitters.
And
if by the next time I'm on my weekly meltdown, which I don't know what that is, I get 250 followers.
Mm-hmm.
I will Cash App one of my followers 3 months worth of CBS All Access to watch this summer of Big Brother.
What? Can I be included in that?
Anybody that's on my 250 next time I'm on, guys, our show's tomorrow, so you got 24 hours. No,
Question, is that with or without ads? Is that the $10 subscription?
Oh, it's the cheap one. If I'm going 3 months,
it's the $5-6 one.
It's the I don't even pay for the $10 one because there's no ads on the live feed, Beth. I'm not buying it so you can watch Love Island.
Well, see, I went back and because I wanted to rewatch all these like Big Brother and Survivor stuff, and I can't handle watching the same freaking commercial over and over.
I just got 3 followers. It's working. It's working. Okay, it's now 1,000. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Listen, follow us on. Look,
and I will be tweeting starting at 1:30 when the feeds come on. I will be doing some feed updates. I will be doing that kind of stuff. I will be awake. I don't know. I think Tyler said he was going to be awake. Beth, you're probably always awake. Allison,
I'm always awake.
I might surprise somebody It's an hour and a half from now, right?
No, it's 2 hours.
2 hours.
Oh, right now.
We're definitely not going to do that.
Anyway, listen, here's the thing. Subscribe to My Weekly Meltdown on YouTube's. You'll get the notifications when we go live and stuff. Also follow us on My Weekly Meltdown on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter at Summers1977, and that's SOMMERS 1977. You can follow Tyler at T Lyons, that's TLYONZZ. Beth at Augusta Wind 11, and that's Augusta WIND 11, and Andrew
because Augusta's not hard to spell. But
yeah, if you can't spell that, get out of here.
Wind.
Yeah,
Hard.
And you can get Andrew at AJ Gibson 0418. And the reason why I'm saying that is on Twitter and all that is because if you listen to us on the iTunes, we're on the iTunes podcast,
Apple
whatever.
Podcasts and Spotify.
Apple podcasts and
yeah, so give us a 5-star review, all of that fun stuff.
And Allison, when or Tyler, when will y'all be back on so everyone knows when they can tune in again?
I believe Tuesday, right?
Tuesday we're gonna do a lot. Listen, guys, we need to have a come to Jesus talk real quick. Do not yell at me about spoilers ever, because I'm gonna tell you something right now. Tuesday, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. This is about the episode. That's why you're watching. Tuesday nights, our spoiler live feed update show. We'll be saying it at the beginning. It's a spoiler. So don't go getting all upset saying y'all need to stop it with this. You stop it. Listen, this is what
But we will say, if you don't want to watch, but you want to leave us a like, that's okay.
Yes. Listen, come back after you watch the episode.
Will you also be covering Sunday show, or is it just going to be spoilers?
It's just going to be
everything that happens live in the house up till like when we go live, basically on Tuesday.
And who knows, we might get a wild hair up our butts and want it in something spectacular. That's a Southern saying, Tyler.
All my family is from down south, and I've never heard that before.
You get a wild hair. You get a wild hair up.
Northern part of New York.
You might get a wild hair
up your ass.
Something might happen on the show, and we get a wild hair, and we want to throw balls to the wind, and we decide to do a show sporadically, spontaneously.
Yeah,
and the only way you can find out about that is to follow us on Twitter.
That's right, and on the YouTube.
Yes,
the YouTube or the Apple podcast.
All right,
the iTunes.
Whatever.
All right,
okay, sorry, we're digressing.
Yeah. All right, thank you guys so much. We will see you guys on Tuesday. Take care. Everybody be safe and wear a mask. Take care. Bye.